Kia ora, Virgo. This is your reading for this new moon in Taurus, partial solar eclipse. So kind of a pretty, well, kind of feels like quite a gentle time. We've already planted our seeds, prepared ground, and seemingly lately it's felt like in a sort of blind manner, you know, like not quite knowing where it's going to take us. But anyway, maybe that's just a sort of product of the time. So we're looking at, for you, Virgo, overarching energies moving to a calmer port with the Six of Swords. I mean, psychologically even, you know what I mean? A more conducive place to be able to be or do what we want to do in. And speaking of seeds and things being planted and not knowing what's going to come up, you know, it's like that metaphor, isn't it? You know, certain plants work really well with other plants and some plants don't with others. So we need a good environment for those little seedlings to be coming up in. We need conducive environments, I mean, in terms of people. Maybe that is a sort of theme for you at the moment. These are really general readings. So we're looking at this story that the cards are speaking of today for you, Virgo. Look, there's a choice. There's a choice here. We have the Four of Swords, another sword, another mind card, which is about relaxing, actually, just resting. Like, you know, go to that lovely warm space, room, lie down. That is often where we get a lot of, you know, insights, guidance, you know, half dreaming, half sleeping, being half awake. In those moments of rest, it's really important. So that this, in a position of choice, with also with the Three of Wands. Now, we've come sort of thus far in the Three of Wands. We can see ahead. Now, look, it may look like there's a big mountain or something, you know, but we know that we'll eventually get to the top. It's a journey, it's a process, and it's an understanding that we can get there, and we will. But it's just a matter of chipping away. So whether this is about resources and people around you, which I do get that, it could also be projects and things that you're wanting to, places or position that you want to get to, that you're just kind of like, oh, right, halfway there. And you know you can get there. It's not like that great myth of Sisyphus, you know, perpetually pushing that, you know, destined or by the gods to or cursed by the gods really, to be perpetually pushing that boulder uphill and never really just having to repeat that over and over again. The Three of Wands isn't like that. You know you can get to this place, but it's a journey, and it's sort of a work in progress, you know. Traits for ease, we've got, well, I say lightly, I mean, we're not being too definite about these positions. Seven of Swords. Often, I do find Aries gets that, Virgo gets that card. And often, you know, it's just, it's kind of indicates that maybe we're choosing to do things in a different way than what we have in the past. Or that we understand certain behaviours, you know, that we have, that we might quite like to change, or that there's a hesitancy. It could be many things, but there's a hesitancy within this to just ask for what you want, or just, this is what I want. And so therefore going around in a more manipulative way to get what you want. That is one aspect of the Seven of Swords. We will go through and clarify, Virgo. Then we have the Knight of Swords. It's very swordy, isn't it? It's very mental kind of, which is not unusual for Virgo, very mind-orientated reading. There's always that element, though, isn't there, Virgo, where we make sense of something, or we understand something in the way that, well, how do we turn this into being, helpful for others or of service to others? It is always a strong sort of element to Virgo, I think. And we have this Knight of Swords propelled, literally flying, because the target is within sight. It's within that sight. And this Knight is taking that opportunity. This is fast moving energy, and it's directed. So it's completely directed here. Excuse me, Virgo, sorry. So there is, you have got this. You are on this. This is sort of a long game, actually. And so it's good that this Four of Swords has turned up too. That just to give yourself a bit of a rest, because things will actually, I do believe, once you put this new understanding into practice, things will actually start being more fluid and move really, really quickly. You're already in a good position, Virgo, for that. You're already there in that sense, We've got the Six of Swords you're coming out with. So let's clarify, please, for Virgo. Six of Swords, please. A sort of overarching energies during this time. We have Judgment. Wow, we've got far too many. We've got two. We've got Judgment, past, present and future combining all at once, giving us this sort of film clip that just flashes before us. Sliding doors, all that sort of thing can be, but that would generate levels of possible regret. But yeah, Judgment is, everything comes home to roost. Ideally we want a nice, we don't always want to be moving. We don't always want to be progressing. Sometimes it's okay to just be for a while, is what I'm getting. We get the Seven of Wands, which is a card of, it's one thing to be defending oneself and very brave, standing up for our integrity. But there's one little aspect to the Seven of Wands, which is this person often is portrayed as being on uneven ground, kind of trying to defend that position. We need to make sure that our own foundations on a personal level are strong. And you could look at that as our levels of integrity for any given situation are true to ourselves, are solid, they're solid. You know what I mean? anyway, I've kind of drifted off and onto a tangent here, but so I think a resting period will be very beneficial at this time, Virgo. I do see that because I think there's a lot. I think you're feeling a bit of pressure, like there's a lot of stuff involved here. As I get that feeling. So we have 2 cards coming out. Sorry, I've just got dry eyeballs. We get really you. I mean, we get the Queen of Discs and this 2 of Swords. There is a decision that is being, well, obviously is being made. We'll just wait for that to go past. There seems to be, I just get this thing, like there's quite a few people around you at the moment. I mean, there's quite a few people involved in this, I do think. We see the 3 of Wands for Virgo, please. 3 of Wands. Yeah, review. We get another 7. I mean, there's a lot of assessment going on here, and that's why the need to actually rest is really important, to get enough rest to instigate self-care, Virgo, as much as having that sort of service to others in mind. Primarily, you have to give that to yourself. The 7 of Discs, reviewing what has gone on along this 3 of Wand journey, because we're halfway through it, you know. So what is it reaping what we want, do you think? Is it? I don't know. Let's have a look. We've got quite a few. Yeah, I mean, 7s, they're all about assessment. 7 of Swords, please. We get the 8 of Discs, working, perfecting something here. And I do believe it is something within yourself and within your behaviours. How you go about getting what you want. It's kind of quite a common theme often with Virgo and Capricorn, actually. This is ultimately, we get the Ace of Cups. I love this ace. There's a key in here in relation to working at this. That will tip the balance, what I hear, or add another flavour to this. It's quite confusing. I think I needed to have a drink, drink of water. Knight of Swords, Virgo, like totally targeted, opportunistic, fast, really fast. Oops, we've just got far too many coming out. Knight of Swords. Moving forward. Well, it certainly is moving forward. Look, there's something stopping. There's a real timing here. There's something currently that you're figuring out. Now that could be anything, Virgo. But until you figure it out, there's a few things here, aspects of your own behaviour, looking at what you've reaped from your efforts. So this sort of gift of the Ace of Cups in terms of being able to be receptive to things, to love, to all of those emotional offerings. Reception. You know, I'm saying this because we get to this Knight of Wands who's just, whew, there's one target and one target only, and that's what the eye is on the prize, right? We get the Four of Swords again, which is a directive to rest. So it's kind of like there's a lot more assessing to do, whatever's going on in the story, Virgo, and whether it resonates or not. It's, you know, it's like, is it heads or tails? Who would know? But there's a definite need to take time out for some self-care, for some rest, because within that rest is where you're going to find yourself coming up with some key directives that will clarify this pathway where you're, you know, on this journey, right? This pathway. It'll clarify that. But you need rest because there's a level of confusion that I feel, anyway, in this story. And sometimes you just have to care for yourself. Okay, on that note, Virgo, keep there and have a wonderful new moon in Taurus. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for that. Bye.